Shocking news once again shakes the South Korean entertainment industry. Jungkook's uncontrollable tears upon hearing about the alleged treatment Hybe inflicted on Taehyung have become the center of public attention, sparking countless questions. What is truly happening behind the scenes? Why should an artist with such global influence as Taehyung be subjected to such pressure? And why was it Jungkook who ultimately became both the emotional witness and the critical voice of a reality that seems irrational? These questions are erupting among the public, demanding answers that remain unclear to this very moment. It all began with an event that seemed simple in the eyes of the public. Taehyung was entrusted with throwing the ceremonial first pitch at a baseball game in Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles. That moment was supposed to be a source of pride, not only for himself, but also for the fans who awaited the appearance of their idol on such a prestigious global sports stage. Yet, behind the flashes of cameras and the cheers of the crowd, a bitter and unexpected reality was hidden. Immediately after completing this symbolic task, Taehyung was reportedly forced to return to Korea under a sudden and unreasonable schedule. The question arises, who made such a significant decision, and what was the real motive? Hybe, the company that manages BTS, once again falls under negative scrutiny. Many fans question their professionalism in managing artists' schedules. Why was Taehyung, who should have been able to enjoy a brief break after such a grand performance, forced to return so abruptly? Was there an urgent reason that could not be delayed, or was this another form of management strategy deliberately designed to burden one particular member? Why does this pattern seem to affect only Taehyung, while other members do not face the same pressure? Is it mere coincidence, or is there a hidden intention no one dares to reveal? Circulating information suggests that the request was highly implicit, not open to the public, and shielded by binding contracts. This means there are matters that cannot be spoken of, even by the members themselves. Internal sources claim that only fellow BTS members are aware of the real situation, and they are forced into silence. But how could such silence last long, while the emotional impact is so evident? Jungkook, known for his strong emotional bond with Taehyung, could no longer hold back his feelings. He reportedly cried upon hearing the news of the pressure his bandmate was facing. Jungkook's tears were not merely a personal expression, but also a symbol of the bigger questions now lingering in many minds. Is this a clear form of injustice? This situation is sparking even more discussion. The public is asking, is Hybe truly acting in the best interest of BTS's career and continuity, or are there other agendas hidden behind the pretense of professionalism? Why do the steps taken seem to harm Taehyung, who has significantly contributed to the group's global image? Is a company as large as Hybe incapable of arranging a humane schedule, or is there a hidden agenda deliberately directed at one individual? These questions now grow sharper, along with the rising disappointment of fans who feel their idol has been treated unfairly. The fact that Jungkook shed tears adds weight to the issue. An artist long known for his strength and dedication suddenly could not hold back his emotions when seeing his friend treated this way. Was Jungkook's crying a reflection of long-suppressed frustration? Or was it a sign that what is happening behind the scenes is far more serious than it appears on the surface? Why is there so little information circulating, while the reality unfolding causes so much anxiety? Are we only being shown fragments of a much larger story that is deliberately kept hidden? Speculation has since spread. Some believe that Taehyung's sudden schedule to return to Korea was an undeniable form of coercion. But if that is true, what was the real reason? Was there a secret project requiring his presence? Or was there internal pressure more complex, which could not even be discussed openly? Why must contracts become a shield to silence reality, while the emotional damage inflicted on the artists themselves is so evident? These questions are becoming harder to ignore, especially after Jungkook's emotional reaction, which seems like undeniable evidence of a disproportionate burden. In the glamorous world of entertainment, the public often sees only the surface, dazzling performances, flashing cameras, and shining achievements. But behind all that lies a dark side seldom revealed. This case with Taehyung is one of the clearest examples of how the industry can showcase beauty while hiding immense pressure. Is this the price a global star must pay? Should fans' happiness be built on the silent suffering of the artist they love? And is it acceptable for a large company to allow such a situation to keep recurring without resolution? The fact that members are forced into silence raises new questions. How long can the truth be hidden? How long must the public accept half-baked narratives? Shouldn't transparency be the main principle in global artist management? Or is this silence deliberately maintained to protect certain interests? If that is true, who truly benefits and who suffers the most? Amid this mystery, the public is urged to think critically. Is all the news circulating genuine, or is it fabricated to capture media attention? Were Jungkook's tears purely out of care, or was there a narrative deliberately constructed to appear dramatic? Was Taehyung truly forced, or is this merely an interpretation of fragmented information? What if this entire issue is only the result of unverifiable speculation? But is it fair for the public to dismiss this news as mere sensationalism? Aren't there enough indications showing imbalance in Taehyung's schedule compared to the other members? Why is it only him who always ends up in the tightest schedule cycle? Is that coincidence, or was it deliberately arranged? And how does Jungkook feel having to watch his close friend bear a burden that is not his to carry? Various social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube have further fueled the situation by showing clips, fan cams, and public opinions. But do all these truly reflect reality? Or are they carefully selected narratives amplified to create drama? Are we witnessing truth, or merely hoaxes designed with precision? This question matters because, in the end, the public must not be swept away by emotions without critical thought. Now, as this issue continues to escalate, the public faces a choice: to believe Hybe is truly guilty in their treatment of Taehyung, or to restrain themselves with skepticism toward all unverified information. Will we choose to fully believe, or will we demand deeper answers? Is Taehyung truly the victim of unprofessional management, or merely part of a larger, strategic game? And are Jungkook's tears the peak of truth, or simply a snapshot of emotion in a fleeting moment? One thing is certain: this issue has shaken the public's trust in the entertainment industry. And until there is a definitive answer, the public will keep asking, what is really happening? A major question now haunts the public's fear once more. Was Taehyung's sudden decision to leave Los Angeles truly born of his own will? Or was it a form of coercion from certain parties, in this case HYB, often described as the grand narrative controller behind every step of BTS members? This event, happening so abruptly, not only sparked curiosity, but also deep suspicion about how power dynamics operate within the global entertainment industry. Are we witnessing just an ordinary phenomenon, or are we confronting a carefully designed scenario meant to safeguard corporate interests? Videos circulating widely on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube show Taehyung seemingly in a rush to leave LA. But do those videos really reveal the truth, or are they merely selected fragments crafted to build a dramatic narrative? Shouldn't we ask, who benefits when such an issue surfaces? If the public quickly judges Hybe as unprofessional, is it not possible that certain parties are seizing this moment to sway global opinion? We must reflect on why an individual decision that should have been simple, leaving a city, became such an explosive issue on the international media stage. Is it because Taehyung is a figure whose influence stretches far beyond entertainment? Or is it because social media has transformed every step he takes into a commodity to be traded for attention? This question touches not only on facts but also on morality. Is it right for the public to swallow whole an issue that might have been manufactured for sensationalism? Looking deeper, every detail of this news leaves a question mark. Why is there no clear official explanation from the relevant parties? Does their silence signify a hidden admission that there was indeed external interference in Taehyung's decision? Or is this silence a communication strategy, deliberately crafted to sustain long-lasting curiosity among the public? If that is the case, is HYB toying with ARMY's loyalty by letting them endlessly speculate? Furthermore, could this event be the continuation of a pattern repeated over years? We can recall previous controversies, where the public always felt something was hidden behind the official narrative. Did Taehyung really leave LA for personal reasons, or due to an agenda forced by management? If forced, was it for contracts, image, or to avoid a bigger issue? Don't we have the right to ask, who truly controls the lives of the artists we idolize? Undeniably, public opinion is now divided. Some say Hybe is unprofessional for letting this unfold without clarification. Yet others argue excessive speculation only worsens the situation. But can we ignore the recurring pattern of communication, silence, ambiguity, then late clarifications after issues grow? Is this incompetence or a carefully designed strategy? And if strategy, who is being manipulated, the media or us all? In this flood of information, we must ask further. Is this news a reflection of reality or part of a hoax deliberately constructed? We know TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube content is often cut, arranged, and published with the intent of shaping certain perceptions. If that is the case, are we as information consumers critical enough to separate fact from illusion? Are we not falling victim to algorithms prioritizing sensation over truth? Let us consider why the public reacts so emotionally to this news. Is it due to deep emotional attachment to Taehyung, or because social media has created an instant culture pushing us to judge without analysis? Doesn't this reveal how fragile the boundary between reality and perception has become in the digital era? And further, is HYB, with all its resources and power, exploiting this vulnerability to control the global narrative? Every paragraph of this issue holds a paradox. On one hand, the public feels entitled to the truth. On the other, the truth seems deliberately obscured. If Hybe is truly unprofessional, why do they still dominate the entertainment industry? Is it because the public, despite complaints, remains loyal consumers unable to break free from their products? Doesn't this raise the question, do we really control our own opinions, or are we merely following a scenario already designed? In this context, skepticism is not just a choice but a necessity. We must question every detail. Why did Taehyung leave suddenly? Why is Hybe silent? Why did social media shape the narrative before official media? Doesn't this demand we become not only passive spectators, but also critical observers? Are we able to maintain emotional distance when addressing news involving someone as influential as Taehyung, or will we remain trapped in emotional whirlpools easily steered by certain parties? We must ask further. Is it possible that Hybe deliberately sacrifices their own image to protect a greater secret? If so, what secret are they hiding? Or is all this merely an illusion, where even our current opinions are part of the scenario they designed? Is this not highly plausible, given how powerful the entertainment industry is in shaping global public perception? Once again, we must not swallow every piece of information whole. Truth does not always align with what goes viral. Therefore, the question we must ask ourselves is, do we truly believe this event is real, or are we witnessing a grand fabrication aimed at capturing international media attention? Are we ready to accept the possibility that we are only pawns in a power game far greater than the simple issue of Taehyung leaving LA? The information spreading now clearly cannot yet be fully verified. All video clips, Twitter speculations, or YouTube analyses ultimately remain raw material that demands further verification. Therefore, we urge readers not to remain passive consumers, but to become active critics of every narrative presented. Skepticism is not a negative stance, but a shield protecting us from the traps of false information. Thus, this matter is not only about Taehyung or Hybe, but also about us. How we respond to information, how we distinguish fact from fabrication, how we deal with the endless sensationalism bombarding our consciousness. The biggest question we must answer is, will we continue allowing ourselves to be controlled by media narratives, or will we dare to take a critical stance in search of the real truth?